at the very end there, 93.5 FM. It is Christmas Parade Day in Humphreys County. And once again, we're going to be broadcasting live from the Courthouse Square and give you some play-by-play action of this year's Christmas Parade, just in case you can't come and watch it. You can listen here. Or if you're out here watching the parade, you can always listen to us stream us to it live on your cell phone and listen to our description then. So feel free to join us either way this afternoon. Joining me this afternoon, and once again, my trusty sidekick, the winningest soccer coach in the history of Waverly Central High School, Coach Bradford. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Good afternoon.
You ready to go?
Trusty sidekick. You're just going to calling me Gabby?
You'll be Gabby, yeah. With that beard, we can go along with that. So, you ready to go, Coach?
Oh, I'm ready to go.
Right.
Ready and raring.
Well, this year's Christmas Parade, once again, is going to feature a long list of participants. As a matter of fact, I was going to look at the bottom number and see how many we actually ended up with here. If I'm not mistaken, it's in the 40s. Let me just double check. 57, counting the horses.
58.
58.
Because they don't have the band.
They don't have the band, right. So on the program they gave us, they didn't have Waverly Central High School band, but the Fighting Marching Tigers are here today, and we're looking forward to hearing them as we do every year. And, of course, but 58 then different participants, and that was as of this morning. Of course, they could have had a few last-minute entries and like that. We're kind of looking forward to seeing what we do have. And a good variety, again, this year. We were looking over the list of the different floats and the different participants, and a good variety. And we're having fun watching the parade that's going on right now. We've been here for a little while and watching the cars that were driving through Main Street, and we got a lot of old decked-out Jeeps and old cars and all like that driving through there that aren't even in the parade. So we've been having a good time this afternoon, haven't we?
Yes, I hope that Plymouth's in the parade that's been driving by about a 1948, something like that.
Yeah, for those of you who know the old Plymouth, it's the one with the round nose on it. It's really nice looking.
Looks like a bullet.
It does. And so we're looking forward to today's parade. We always are. And first of all, we want to remind you who's making our parade possible and kind of acknowledge our sponsors here for just a moment. And who's helping us out with the parade this year? Danelle?
The City of Waverly, Mayor Buddy Frazier, Michael McCoy Construction, River Valley Eye Clinic, Thunder Home Repair, and August Discount Bargain Center.
And that's just one of our group of sponsors that we want to acknowledge and thank very much for helping us out and making it possible for us to give coverage today. We also want to thank Bud's Music. Bud has been running up and down the streets here handing out things to the different kids. We've got all kinds of, what are those egg things called again, Coach? Maracas here. So we're going to be driving parents crazy all afternoon with the maracas.
A shaky thingy.
But we appreciate him doing that very much. And, of course, all our other sponsors we'll touch on here as the afternoon goes along. Coach, the holiday season's on us. We had the tree lighting ceremony last week, end of the week, for Tuesday down there. And I understand Thomasine Hill did an outstanding job with her choir, as she does every year, and it was just an all-around good time. What good great way to kick off the holiday season.
She is a fantastic choir director and just a fantastic person.
Well, I'm not going to argue with you at all. And to be honest with you, everything I've heard, feedback and everything, it was just a really good ceremony. And I like the idea that we've kicked off the holiday season here in Humphreys County. We've got another great year of gift and togetherness and family stuff upon us very quickly, but the year shot by so quickly. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean,
New Johnsonville had their tree lighting last night.
Mm-hmm. We went by and we thought the city hall was on fire. Actually, we thought the shelter, the big shelter, was on fire, but they had a big old barbecue thing set up beside it with flames whipping out of it. So it turned out it wasn't the case. So
that's a safe room.
That's a safe room. And now, did you have a good ceremony?
I guess. I was off driving a bus in Nashville.
Oh, that's right. You were in the zoo.
Yes, they let me out.
They let you out. That's right. You took one of the classes from Waverly Central up to the zoo yesterday, correct?
Carried them to the mall and then over to the zoo.
Now, they had the lights out?
Had the Chinese lantern celebration. It was beautiful.
You were showing me some pictures earlier, and it really looked nice. And speaking of lights and stuff, we've got all the lights up here in Waverly now. The street lights all have their snowflake and star design on it. We've also got all the lights that light up here in the Courthouse Square and over in front of the City Hall as well. And, of course, a lot of the different businesses are all decked out for the holiday season. We're looking over at Vintage Treasures, one of our sponsors for today's parade coverage, and they are really decked out. They went all out with Christmas stuff in their windows and throughout the store. And so come on out and enjoy. Let's kick off the Christmas season. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm looking forward to today's parade for a whole bunch of reasons, but a big reason is the weather. I have called this parade now for way too many years. And I remember one year we were out here and we were calling it, and Gray was with me at the time. And it was so cold our hands didn't want to work. Last year we were here with it rain and wind. We're under a tent. So this is perfect weather. I mean, this is really nice. It's just cool enough to give you a hint of the holiday season, but warm enough so that you don't have to be bundled up and can't move. So
It is a beautiful day.
And again, things will be kicking off here about 1 o'clock, and everything begins down at the junior high, works its way slowly down Main Street. So we'll get here a little bit behind that, but do want to take a couple of moments and again acknowledge our second group of sponsors here that are making today's program possible.
First Federal Bank, State Farm Insurance Agent Lynn Pascal, Humphreys County Government Jesse Wallace County Executive, Love Bowen Funeral Home, Humphreys County Sheriff Department Chris Davis Sheriff.
And one of the other things we've been enjoying, Coach, is all the dogs that have shown up in costume.
I mean, like the Doberman walking in front of us with a Christmas bow and lights collar.
Yes, the Doberman looks, who's going to walk up saying you look like a sissy wearing that? It's a Doberman, okay? But seriously, it's walking down the road there, and it's got a Christmas light collar on, which really kind of looks cool. Earlier, we saw a couple of dachshunds that were dressed up as Santa Claus walking across the street. The dog from Vintage Treasure has a Christmas coat on. It's been showing off up and down the sidewalk. So even the animals are out for the holiday season today.
Such a lovely, lovely day. And we've got a good crowd here gathered at Court Square, and I know they're all the way down to where the parade ends.
Which, once again, will be down at the plaza where the Dollar Tree store is. Down there's where things will wrap up. And just the entire route, there's not a bad spot to watch this parade all the way down the trade route, to be honest with you. It really is really nice. And like that, a great day. And a lot of people bringing their lawn chairs. I mean, seriously, it's a big crowd quickly forming here.
Spring day.
It really is. It's really kind of nice. I like it. And we want to also remember that besides the holiday season being upon us, we're going to start with our broadcasting. We've already started some. We'll be going heavier and heavier with the Christmas music on WQNV as we get closer to Christmas Day. And once again this year, starting at 6 o'clock, Christmas Eve, and going through midnight on Christmas Day, we're going all Christmas music on WQNV so we can be a part of your holiday season. And on Channel 3, Comcast Channel 3 here in Waverly, we will once again be broadcasting the Yule log with all Christmas music as well, because we want to be a part of your holiday season. And we appreciate the support you have shown WQNV over the past year. And we even enjoy being involved with the community as we always have down here. Matter of fact, if you look back, Coach, this has been one of those rough years for us. I mean, we started off with floods in the first part of the year and windstorms in the last part of the year, and it's been a rough year for Humphreys County. Well, we just came through it.
Yes, and I got an email yesterday for the public assistance for the government entities. FEMA just came through with assistance for the county.
Which means that any of the public utilities, public losses that we suffered in cleaning things up and repairing things, they'll cover. Now, that's not individual assistance for individuals who lost homes or damage like that. That's still hanging out there to see if we qualify for that. But the public assistance helps a lot because it keeps us from having a big chunk out of the county budget and the city budgets and like that. So
they can work on the infrastructure, the bridges, the roads.
Yeah. And, and when we, I think the last report I saw from Meriwether Lewis was they ended up replacing over the 3 counties, with the bulk of them being here in Humphreys County, 290 utility poles were replaced, and no telling how many miles of line was restrung. So there was a lot of expense, but we came through it very quickly, and we're very impressed with the way the community pulled together. And so now as we move into the holiday season, we're looking forward to the fact that we can enjoy the holiday season, spend some time with the families and stuff like that. Coach is laughing at our camera guy. Once again, Mike Hewitt is recording the parade, as he does every year. We'll be playing that back on Comcast Channel 3 throughout the holiday season. And Mike's fussing with the traffic cones, and we're laughing at him. He looks he's having way too much fun moving the cones around. And like that. Now, Coach, holiday season's upon you. How much are you prepared for the holiday season? Or should I ask, how much is Do you think you're ready for the holiday season?
My wife is ready. Our house is a Lego maniac's dream. She's got Legos for every holiday, and she's got her Christmas ones out now. And she does most of the Christmas stuff around the house. I just stay out of the way.
You just enjoy it, right?
I go out the deer blind and enjoy the peace and quiet.
Oh. Do you put your stockings out there to deer blind?
No.
Everybody. I've been really impressed. People started decorating early in the different homes here in Waverly and across Humphreys County. I think it's a different feel this year around. Over the last over the last 3 years or so, the holiday season I think has grown. People have been more engaged with it than they had been prior to that, and I think it's got a lot to do with the fact that people are feeling good and feel like they've got the opportunity to be a part of the gift-giving season. I think it's cool. And also, I want to commend everyone who's been a part of the different things going on. Earlier today at the plaza, they had the Fill a Cop Car event where people brought down non-perishable foods, toys, brand new toys, and coats, and they crammed them in the cop car, and all the proceeds go to support families here in Humphreys County that need a helping hand. And I got feedback a little while ago that event went very well, and they're very pleased with the participation. And again, we want to thank all the citizens of Humphreys County for making that and a lot of the different organizations be ready and ready to go into the holiday season along those lines. Everything from the Holiday Assistance Program. And again, I want to thank everybody who bid and participated in supporting United Way during our previous United Way radio auction that just wrapped up here a couple of weeks back.
This is a wonderful county to live in. You look at the way they've been supporting these activities, and we go back to the flood and the storms we had, the way people gathered together to help out neighbors, and even the government entities, they got in to help us out cleaning roads and everything. It's fantastic to live in a county where everybody's everybody else's neighbor.
Well, exactly right. I like to tell the story Chris Davis, Sheriff Davis, told. He was on his way right in the aftermath of the big storm that came through. He was on his way from McEwen into town, and he realized Highway 70 was just blocked between utility poles and trees and like that. So he just stopped, went up to a guy's house, said, "You got a chainsaw I can use?" He said, "Well, yeah, I got better than that." So he brings a chainsaw and a tractor, and then some other people showed up doing the same thing, and they're working their way down the road clearing things. They want to make sure things work. And I guess got a big congratulations and way to go to the citizens of Humphreys County who pulled together and did a great job this past year. It could have been a lot worse.
Oh, yes.
Believe me, could have been a lot worse, especially when you sit back and say, well, someone will show up and clean that up eventually. We may all have been still sitting here and like that. Today's parade, by the way, is already kicked off. I've got they've blocked off Highway 13 north and south, which means that the parade is now moving down Main Street from the junior high there. We'll be starting off like we always do with the color guard provided by the local Boy Scout troop. It's Boy Scouting is still very popular here in Tennessee and in the county, and it's been around since 1910. An organization has been organized since 1910 and a part of helping to educate a lot of young men and prepare them for not only the challenges they would have in urban life, but give them an idea of what it was like to survive without the bare necessities, as they used to say in the movies and like that. So,
back in 1910, our society was so rural, they didn't think too much about this, but with the urban society we have now, the Boy Scouts really expose these young men and young ladies, I guess I should say now, to the camping and stuff and the outdoors that a lot of them never see, especially some from the inner cities.
We were talking earlier this year to some of the individuals from the UT Extension office and the 4-H and like that, and they were talking about how you've got people here in Humphreys County that grew up in Waverly. Humphreys County is basically considered a rural county, and there's a lot of farming and agricultural and livestock that has worked here in the county. But you got people that grew up here in Waverly and has never been exposed to any of that, because they've just never got outside of the county. So that's one of the things that organizations like the 4-H do, is try to expose, these kids to a part of life that they don't necessarily see every day. Outside, get their heads off the video games and out doing something else. It's kind of cool. and like that. So Coach, as we're waiting for the first glimpse of the parade here, holiday season's on us. All the specials are popping up. What's your favorite holiday special?
I love the Christmas Carol.
Mm-hmm.
I've already watched 2 different versions of it so far.
Okay, of the Christmas Carol, which is your favorite version?
The first one I saw on TNT early last week, the 1934 one.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
With Alex or somebody there, but yes, it is, I like that version. But I'll be honest with you, as a more modern version that I saw, George C. Scott did a version of the Christmas Carol that was just outstanding. I always enjoyed him as an actor, but he really caught the essence of that role. What was the other version you saw?
The one with I say Picard from the USS Enterprise. Patrick Stewart.
Oh, now
he does a real good job.
Was that the one-man show, or was that the entire thing?
It was the entire one. It was.
He went around doing a one-man play of the Christmas Carol. I've got a tape of it. It was just he did all the voices and 09 yard. He was really awesome at that. But he is a good actor. He really is, and like that. So, but my favorite outside of a movie. And of course, I'm a big Jimmy Stewart fan, so of course, It's a Wonderful Life is always going to rank up there as one of my favorite holiday films. And I look forward to. I've got a DVD copy of it, so I don't have to wait for the one time they broadcast it a year type thing. But as far as the special goes, I have always liked the original claymation version of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I think it's just an awesome, first of all, an awesome story. They did a fantastic job with bringing it to life on the screen, and then added some wonderful songs and stuff that went along with it. I just enjoy that special. But it's been under fire lately. Have you heard that?
Yes, because of Yukon Cornelius carrying a handgun.
Well, him carrying a handgun, and the fact that the reindeers are bullies, and they're bullying on Rudolph. And I'm like, it's teaching kids to bully. No, it's teaching you how to survive when you're bullied. Is what it is. But I really, I guess I started having problems with this back when they used to do the Huckleberry Finn. They go back and try to look at Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer through the eyes today. You can't do that, and these specials are a glimpse of time, and you need to enjoy them. It's entertainment. Just calm down a little bit. But I love the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer special. It's always one of my favorites.
Any of the claymation ones. I know they had on the other night, the year there was no Christmas. No Santa Claus, yes.
Is that the one with Mickey Rooney doing the voice?
No, that's what were you got? I'm Mr. Snow Miser.
Snow Miser. Yeah, okay.
I'm Mr. Snow.
Very good, Coach. And we got you on tape now, so you're in trouble. I like that one. I like and there's a rare one that
The Story of Santa Claus is one that's got Mickey Rooney in it.
Mickey, that's it. Yeah,
and it's a real good one.
They got a rare one coming out that MeTV is bringing back out. It hasn't aired in over 30 years, and it's a follow-up to Frosty the Snowman. It's Frosty's Wonderful Winter Land, and it's all about Frosty meeting who would be his wife, Crystal, later on. But the narrator for it was Andy Griffith.
Oh, okay.
And it, like I said, hadn't aired since in 30 years or more. And so they're bringing it back out this year, and they've restored it and brought it back out. I used to look forward to the holiday season. You always see those cool little specials like that and everything. So,
and all the ones with Burl Ives on them.
Anything with Burl Ives is really good. The guy was Mr. Christmas there for a while. Back in a long time ago, I used to manage malls and do the marketing at malls. And one year we bought an entire package that was built around Burl Ives. All our commercials, all our television spots, all our radio spots, all of the flyers and everything, and the posters and everything, the banners and everything inside the mall was all around Burl Ives. And we were supposed to put it up on Thanksgiving Day. So Thanksgiving Day, we go in, we put up all this stuff. It's all ready to go. We start running our commercials, and then we get a news story that he's in the hospital with pneumonia, not looking good. So that's not what we need right now. But he was fine. He recovered and did well. But his stuff was really. He did a special jingle for our package, and it was. I think the guy could sing anything. He was really good. But you look at him, you wouldn't think that he could sing like that. So. Also a good actor. I'm beginning to see blue lights down there, Coach. So I think we're about ready to finally kick this thing off, and I appreciate everybody hanging with us as things roll along. Maybe this year they won't go as fast. The last couple of years they've been really whipping by us, and
when the band is not in the front, it kills the band members. I know when I was at Lakeview, we marched in this every year, and sometimes they say we want to keep you so far behind the unit in front of you. Oh, that was great until the unit in front of us stopped for a while. We had to stop and mark time. And then they got in their little cars and zoom, and they were 3 blocks ahead of us. And why aren't you keeping up?
And meanwhile, you're going, So these tour buses get heavy after a couple of blocks, so, and like that. So, and matter of fact, I understand that Waverly Central High School is the band is going to be in the parade today. We're looking forward to seeing them, as we are with all the different things. And I'm looking down there, and sure enough, I think I see the Waverly Police Cruiser that's acting as the escort for the beginning of the parade and stuff like this. We're about ready to kick off another great Christmas season here in Humphreys County. We want to wish all of you who are listening today a very Merry Christmas, and of course all the best in the coming year and like that. So I think
I'll sing, "We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas." Feel
free, Coach. No problem. They would pay me not to sing. I like that. So
I did music and band too long, I can burst into song just about anything.
That works. That works. Before he was a soccer coach, he was a band director, and like that. Now, Coach, a lot of people wonder why they do Christmas parades and events like this, but it becomes a very important part, I think, of the community and focusing everybody and kicking off the season and stuff like that. Do you agree?
Oh, yes. It's a way to bond our whole communities together. I love that our community still has a Veterans Day parade. So many communities have stopped that, and this community is into patriotism and into just community pride spirit and everything.
Well, I think that's a lot of it right there. I think a lot of times people forget that, yes, we're individuals, we're living our daily lives, but we're also part of a community, and that's a very important part of what makes a community what it is and like that. So I'm trying to see if that's not Chief Gillespie in the police cruiser there. Is he driving the? Is he driving the lead vehicle there, Coach? Can you tell?
I think so. Yes.
I think it is. It's Chief. It sure is. It's Chief Gillespie there. Chief of Public Safety is his official title, and like that. Chief, how you doing? He's in his dress blues today. He's looking really sharp, and like that. And he's got a little passenger in front with him up there. I couldn't see who that was. And speaking of law enforcement officials, Sheriff Chris Davis with a Humphreys County deputy's car is coming up next, and he's got a few rowdy guys in the back of his cruiser there throwing candy out and stuff like that.
Of course, the little one that's sitting in the front with him, won that from the United Way auction, the opportunity to ride in the front seat
with the police cruiser. Like that. And he had the winning bid and like that. And they're going to throw all kinds of... He's even got the back flap open and stuff like that. And, of course, here is the honor guard, the color guard of the Boy Scouts, which are officially opening things. And coming up behind her, it's Mayor Buddy Frazier on an antique fire truck, which actually is on display down at the City Hall on a regular basis and like that. So, and Jerry Wright is driving the antique truck. Do you know much about this particular model there, Coach?
I do not. I know it's a Dodge, probably a 1940s model, I would guess.
Looks pretty good. Even got the wooden ladders on it. I like that. Of course, following up behind it is a standard City of Waverly Fire Department cruiser, fire truck. Now, is that what's the official title of that? Is it a tanker? Or is that just
that is a pumper?
Pumper?
Yes.
See, that's all the advantages of having Coach here, because Coach is on the volunteer fire department, so works out very well.
Yeah, I'm one of the 4 that got commissioned this year. I'm state commissioned firefighter
State
now.
commission. And right behind that is another Waverly Waverly Fire Department truck, engine number 7.
This is one of their rescue trucks. This will have your extrication equipment on it for getting people that are trapped in cars out and for other rescue duties with it.
And probably had a lot of use here over the last few weeks with us, I'm sure. I like this. And then, speaking of the volunteer fire department, this is one of their E45 engine here, right?
Yeah, this one I think is a new one at District 2, or new to District 2.
And what is it? What is it, a pumper?
That is a straight pumper. Got the walk-through deck on it, so you can actually do your pump operations from the truck instead of from one side.
Very good. And County Rescue Squad is here as well with one of their favorite vehicles. And again, a department that got a lot of use here over the last few months.
Oh, yes. All the emergency services here in the county have had a lot to do this year.
And done a great job.
And we have a pontoon boat from from the county fire department being pulled by Marshall Winchester and his Dodge Ram.
And, of course, with junior firemen on there throwing off candy and like that. And, of course, Sparky the dog and like that. And one more antique engine coming up here. Actually, not antique. It's still in use, but it's one of the older models.
That one is out at District 6 down at Buffalo. That is an older model pumper.
And it's amazing how the different styles and different designs change from year to year on those things.
And you see that one's got the side pump panel. If you're operating that truck from this side and the fire's on the other side, you've got to depend on your radio because you cannot see anything.
See nothing. And here's the County Fire Department Rescue Squad.
This is District 2's rescue truck.
And of course, all volunteered.
Or Station 2, excuse me. And that's, let's see. Kevin Best is driving that one.
And of course, following up here is the volunteer fire department. One of their volunteers in their cars.
That's actually one of the chief's cars, I believe.
Very cool. And I love the way the LED lights have opened up the way you can really deck out a vehicle with lights now.
You can, and they are so much brighter than the older lights, and you can turn those things on and it'll run 2 days and not run your battery down.
And here's the Humphreys County Rescue Squad with their pontoon boat. And one of the Tigers in the back of the vehicle throwing out candy and like that. And here is an entity that is very familiar to us here lately. The American Red Cross has an entry in our parade this year.
You know, they do all sorts of wonderful things for the people in this county. During the emergency we have, if we have a fire that's destroyed a house or misplaced a family, we give them a call. They come down and they help that family with clothing and for housing for a few days until they can get back on their feet after something that devastates their lives.
And here's our emergency medical. They're represented by one of their vehicles and a trailer with some really nice Christmas tree and decorations on the back.
That is their chief's car. We have one of the lifeguard ambulances following up shortly behind that.
And here's AirVac.
AirVac, and I think it's first of the year they're getting a new helicopter here in the county, a bigger one so they can actually handle more emergencies.
Which is very good. Of course, lifeguard ambulances. And you're beginning to hear now in the background where we've got the Waverly Central High School Marching Tiger Band officially getting the parade rocking and rolling this morning. Coach, what are they playing? Can you tell? Oh, they just finished up as usual.
The band directors are Joseph Bullington and Clint Rawls. They've got approximately 65 members this year. They've been to several competitions and brought home a lot of trophies this year, so they've done a good job. Getting a child in music has been proven to help them scholastically too. Band builds them in many ways.
Mm-hmm. But I wish just once I would catch them in front of us playing. Here we go.
Here they go.
Play. What a nice sound.
Well, Merry Christmas, a jazzy Christmas.
Very nice.
And walking next to him is band director Joseph Bullington.
Very good. We actually got to catch him on mic. And of course, here's
this is Mr. Tester. He drags that trailer everywhere the band goes all year long. Unfortunately, his daughter's graduating this year.
Oh, no, really? And up next is a bunch of guys that everyone in the county needs to just give a standing ovation to and pat on the back. It is part of the pole crews at MLEC, Meriwether Lewis Electric Cooperative. These guys were out 24 hours a day to get us all back on power. 3 counties without power, and they were able to get us back on in just a matter of time. And in less than 8 days, they had almost 100% there. And we want to thank them for the outstanding job that Meriwether Lewis Electric Cooperative did, and the other co-ops that sent in units to assist us and to expand out what we could do and like that. So congratulations to them and thank them very much.
Oh, yes. I wouldn't do what they do for what they get paid and more, because you make a mistake with those high power lines, and it's not a little mistake where you get a little shock.
Up next is Humphreys County Chamber of Commerce truck with one of the characters, SpongeBob SquarePants. And, of course, he was created actually by a marine biologist and animator by the name of Stephen Hillenberg and like that. And, of course, And one of our fairest of the fairs, following immediately behind the Chamber of Commerce truck,
Crystal Nichols,
who is the Junior Miss Fairest of the Fair for 2019. And a nice ride. Really nice ride. And immediately behind that is a Model T. This is Larry Williams with his Model T. And I like the little rumble seat in the back with the little dog on there like that, known as a Tin Lizzie. And more were produced than any other. Volkswagen finally surpassed it with the Bug, but for a long time it held the most creative all. And speaking of my favorite organization of Humphreys County, it is the Topless in Tennessee Jeep Club here in Humphreys County.
Where was your pause?
No pause this time around. And, of course, we've got a Rubicon to lead the way. Up next is a Wrangler, which is one of the most popular Jeeps style variation. And following that up is a late 1980s version of the Jeep that has the square headlights on it. Most of the Jeep aficionados don't like the square headlights because it was an odd year model, because they like the round headlights. It was kind of unique from the World War II days and like that. So,
Mr. Spencer's driving that one.
And, of course, very back is, I think that was a CJ7 in the very back here, if I'm not mistaken. No, that's a Wrangler in the very back there. That was the year they switched over. And up next, we've got Studio 6 wishing us a very, very Merry Christmas. Of course, that's a fitness organization.
Yeah, have you had your workout yet today?
No, I've passed on that. I really have. And like that. So
they'd probably let you get out there and get on those stationary bicycles. You brought that over here and powered all your equipment with the stationary bicycle.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'll pass on that. And we'll pass on that, okay, if you don't mind. Scooby-Doo. Up next is the Waverly Tire and Auto Center, and they've got Scooby-Doo. Of course, Scooby-Doo, one of my favorite cartoons, introduced in 1969 and continues to this day. And
Velma's on there.
His Velma is on there. Yes, she is. Fred Jones, Delma Blake, Velma Dinkley, and Shaggy Rivers, along with Scooby-Doo. And one of the greatest cartoons of all time there. Who we got next, Coach?
Humphreys County's fairest of the fair, Courtney Wilson. And she's in a ATV.
That works out well. And following her is Force Athletics. And this is a children's athletic program, tumbling and different things. And well represented here. Got a trailer full of kids, don't they? In fact, they got a few of them doing the backflips and things behind the trailer there. Kind of cool.
That's a good 28-foot trailer, too, full of kids.
Really is. And anytime you get kids involved with anything to get some active, I think that is a great thing.
Anything that puts the cell phones down and the iPads and gets them active is really great.
And speaking of being active, look at the flips. I love the flips. Speaking of being active,
somersaults.
Coming up next is a truck that has a very warm place in the heart of Coach Bradford.
Humphreys County Soccer League. That's our rec league here in town. Basically, that's my feeder program for the high school soccer team.
So look very closely at this float as it goes by, friends. You're going to see the faces of future Waverly Tiger soccer players right there in the back of that trailer.
In fact, I've got one of the boys waving is one that's a freshman that's come out for soccer this year.
There you go.
I've already been making them run miles and 2 miles.
And coming up next, we've got one of the kings, the fairest of the fair kings coming up next. That's Jaden O'Daniel, and he's winning one of those little off-road vehicles. And, of course,
we got an A model here between them.
Mr. George Ross, which is a model with a Model A and a rumble seat. That's pretty cool.
We used to sing a song about a rumble seat at elementary music classes, and I had to explain to the kids what they were.
What a rumble seat was, huh?
Yes.
And this is the Sweat for Vet, which is a very good motorcycle group. They do a lot of stuff to raise money for the different veterans in the area. And they help out with veterans' families and with individuals, and they do a great job.
And the dog in the side, well, it's not a sidecar, it's a trailer.
It's a trailer. And he's a well-disciplined dog. I like that.
Just sitting there taking everything in.
And doing a great job. And so somewhere in here, we're supposed to have the American Legion Post 34. Wonder where they could be.
Is that the little motorcycles coming up?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out who would be riding motorcycles from there, but nice looking group.
That's probably American Legion because they got one of them's got Army patches on.
Yeah.
Yes, I know those guys. They keep trying to recruit me.
They do.
And I keep, my wife keeps committing me to other things.
And I'm trying. No, this is the American Legion. This is their float.
So they've got motorcycles and a float.
There you go. Night before Christmas, and what it is the kids in the bedroom, and then on the back side is the veteran in the foxhole situation, like that for the American Legion. We appreciate that very, very much. And American Legion does a lot of good work here in Humphreys County.
Now, how many nights did you spend out in the field in a sleeping bag like that in the Air Force?
Not a lot, but we always send our officers off to battle anyway, so we're in good shape. Star Physical Therapy has Frosty the Snowman. Frosty the Snowman, by the way, the song was a follow-up to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, originally released by Gene Autry, but made famous by Jimmy Durante.
Yes, and you know that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer originally started as a character in a handout book from Montgomery Ward.
Yes, it was. It was written internal. I thought I'd do better. This is
hey, it's
AHA,
the Grinch.
And with the Grinch right there. 5-star rating on ACA. And Fast Forward is up next. Fast Forward Broadband. Actually, one of our regular sponsors on WQNV. And they have been bringing high-speed internet to Humphreys County now for a number of years and doing a great job. And they've got a really nice, they even got one of their towers hooked up in the back of their trailer. I think that's pretty cool.
And they probably had a lot of work to do after this windstorm came through.
Oh, I think all of them did. And here's someone else that had a lot to do with all the damage and stuff. It's Thank you.
Thank you.
Proclean. Pressure washing service is up next with a nice little truck and a nice little Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer scene here.
And Klondike Ike is with them.
And Klondike Ike, and of course the abominable snowman is on the very back there on Proclean. So a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer themed float.
Hey, this is early in the movie because he still got his teeth.
That's right. He hadn't run into the dentist yet. Hadn't run into the dentist.
And after this, we have coming up Miss Lisa Stacey, Miss Elite Fairest of the Fair.
Complete with a little chow.
Also got third place, Addison, and their crowns for a cure.
Very good. Nice car. Very nice car.
Yeah.
And up next, we've got the Waverly Senior Citizen Center.
Have they recruited you yet?
No, I'm still cheating them. They still think I'm a teenager. They only hear my voice, though, the way it works. The Waverly Senior Citizen Center is very active to keep seniors active here in the community. You get an opportunity to join, please do. They always got something going on there.
Mm-hmm. And we have behind them the Girl Scouts of Humphreys County. It started out as the Girl Guides in England, and then moved to the United States with the World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts in 1928.
And been active ever since. And a number of outstanding, prominent women throughout American history have been members of the Girl Scouts. I like that very much.
And no, I wasn't around in 1928.
I was going to ask you if you were. I like that. And I think
another Girl Scout ATV
following them up there.
And looks like coming up behind this, we have a truck and trailer from Three Rivers Hospital featuring Charlie Brown.
That's what I haven't seen Charlie yet, but I've definitely seen a motorcycle riding Santa on the back of it. So
it says Charlie Brown's birth date is October the 30th.
No, this is not them, Coach.
No, they've changed up on us.
They did a swap. This is the motorcycle riders of Humphreys County. They're the ones who do the Toys for Tots drive every year. And they're actually handing out some toys. Ain't that cool?
And when the motorcycles rev up all these Harleys, all you hear is Harley.
That's it. Yeah. And it's definitely a Harley Davidson. That's all there is to it.
Hey, there's Mario riding a motorcycle.
That's good.
Instead of a Mario Kart.
There you go.
Of course, in the game, you can put him on a motorcycle.
I like the motorcycle with the wind-up key on the back of it. I think that's pretty cool.
That's kind of what I would need. It'd be cheaper on gas. Of course, I drive a little 250 Honda. It's good on gas anyway. And it's quiet.
Yeah, well, that's definitely not what these are.
No.
These are definitely designed to be noisy. And also, a new entry from our original schedule. We're a couple of the antique tractors.
Oh, yes. I was asked to bring my 1946B over here, and I told them I had other commitments.
And
of course, I'm working on a 1951 8N Ford, too. So one of these years, my wife is going to drive the Ford, and I'm going to drive the John Deere, and we're going to have our antique tractors in these.
There you go. And that's a Farmall right there. The red one in the lead is a Farmall tractor.
Yeah,
and immediately behind that is Robin Blue, the president of the Antique Tractor Club here in Humphreys County, driving his John Deere.
and that's close to 1946, because that's just the big brother to my B John Deere I have that looks like that. And they're always fun with the hand clutches on them. You've never driven a hand clutch, you've never had fun when you want to stop.
And this is one of my favorite, a 1966 drop-top Mustang, and it's a Humphreys County Care and Rehab, which is the new Humphreys County Nursing Home, the brand new facility. And that is a 66 Mustang, and it is nice. It is in good shape.
And this new facility they have is very nice. For the people that are over there, they've really improved the nursing home with this new facility.
And this is Three Rivers Hospital with Charlie Brown, whose birthday is always around Christmas, because the very first Charlie Brown specials was a Christmas Charlie Brown. And we always think of him as from the special there.
He was born in 1946 in the original comic strip.
Very good. And of course,
so he's older than I am.
There you go. Well, there's a lot of people older than we are. And of course, this is the
this is the Hickman charter of the Vietnam veterans. Mm-hmm. Wayne Woods is hiding up there. Wayne is very active with New Johnsonville City Council, and he's with the Vietnam veterans.
And again, another organization that's very good at supporting veterans, not only Vietnam veterans, but all veterans. They do a great job of reaching out to the veterans community here in Humphreys County. We appreciate the work that they do, and that's the Randolph T. Hicks Chapter 1053.
And, you know, this trailer they're pulling here is a replacement for one that was stolen about this time last year from them. And, you know, all they do is help people around in Vietnam vets all over the country. Hey, like this little pink John Deere tractor.
A pink and a classic John Deere tractor. That's from Spear Services, representing there. And up next, we've got Pack 575 Boy Scouts. And they are in two different trucks and trailers sit-up. And of course, we talked about the Boy Scouts at the beginning of the parade. The color guard was from the same pack organization here at the beginning of the parade.
Yeah, they're having lots of fun on there. I think it'd be easier going through the parade sitting on a bale of hay than marching.
I agree with that one.
I hate to think of how many years I marched parades as a band director and a music teacher. About 30. And before that with the military.
But at least with a band director, you don't have to worry about carrying any instruments or anything.
I don't know. I've had to pick up tubas and bass drums when kids have fallen out.
And coming up next in our parade is another one of the Miss Humphreys County events. This one is the Fairs of the Fair herself. This is Aniston Burns.
And right behind that, we have another antique car, J.C. Wilson and his 1947 Ford car.
And I love that slumped off back. I like that. It's very nice. And actually, we got two Fords. This is a 1934 Ford right here, the red one. That's the 1934.
It makes you think of Bonnie and Clyde.
It does. It was the little boot in the back. That's the trunk back there behind the spare wheel. I like that. And this is an SS Camaro. And if I'm not mistaken, that is at least a 66 or 67. What do you think, Coach?
Probably. That looks like what they were driving when I was in high school. Canary yellow with a black racing stripe down the center.
A classic gunmetal gray right behind that. Again, a Camaro. Again, an SS. I think that's a late 68 or 69. And this looks like early 70s. Is that a Chevelle SS?
SS.
Love to hear those babies sit down on the cam and just cramping away. I like that.
Listen to the open pipes he's got on that one.
Now here's something, Coach, I'm not that familiar with. It's a float, and the theme of it is the Game of Thrones.
Dragon's Head.
And the Game of Thrones, I'm not very familiar with. It was developed for HBO, and went from 2011 to 2019, 73 episodes. And the series finally ended this past week. The past year, no one was happy with the ending on that one, by the way.
It was a fantasy series about medieval times with dragons and kings and people vying to who was going to be. I never got to see it.
I just got to hear about it, never got to see it. I'm like
because
you.
it was on HBO.
And this float here is from the Forbidden Shields.
And we've got a household scene of people sitting around in the living room, around the fireplace.
Enjoying Christmas Eve. So pretty cool. Well done, by the way, on that one. I like that. We got another Miss Ferris of the Fair.
Tiny Miss Ferris of the Fair.
She's pulling her sash off. She's tired of that. She pulled that off.
Get it down the car. It's in my way.
Very cool. I like that. That's
Allie Wallace.
Yeah.
And there's Pikachu or something along that line behind it.
Yeah, it's First Horizon, and is carrying Pikachu, the character there. And, of course, Pikachu is a franchise that started off as a game and evolved into an entire Nintendo complex, to be honest with you. Very popular still to this day, believe it or not. Books, toys, games, the whole 9 yards.
It's part of the Pokemon series.
And that is a nice Jeep Sierra, and it's carrying Sophie Oakley, who is one of the preteen Ferris of the Fair. And I think this is Natchez Trace Youth Academy up next, Coach.
Yes, it is. And we see that, again, they're in front of a fireplace on one side. And on the other side,
veteran scene,
we've got the veterans.
Very nice. Merry Christmas.
It's nice we're remembering the veterans and
here,
the people who can't be home for Christmas.
You got it. And here he is. We saw this earlier. This is a Luff Bowen Funeral Home entry. This is their luxury car. And there is Cooter Bowen in the front seat up there. And Cooter is one of our sponsors for the parade today. Luff Bowen Funeral Home. We appreciate that very much.
And right behind that, we have Neighborhood Realtors trucks for home, land, property, commercial. And the little elves are driving it.
They're out looking for property already. I like that. And this is Ross Farms up next.
And we've got the junior high cheerleaders.
Yeah. Ross Farms provided the truck. And this is the Waverly Junior High School cheerleaders. And they got their little names with little banners there. And I believe they won an award this year for their work.
They go to a lot of competitions.
I like that.
And, they put in a lot of work.
Very cool. And up next is a new entry for us this year. It's Stella Kennels. And they are, I'm not really that familiar with the organization, but I'm familiar with the vehicle they're driving. It's dressed up like a big dog.
Got his tongue sticking out.
There you go. They are.
How does she see to drive?
I don't know.
Big felt eyeball in front of her.
They got big eyeball, and a little dog looks like a little dog's driving there.
Oh, with a Santa hat on.
Now, Stella Kennels, they board dogs. They also take care of dogs like daycare and like that for the dogs in this local community organization. But you can find them on Facebook. They're really kind of cool.
Yeah, may your days be furry and bright.
That works. And Humphreys County Right to Life organization here in a red pickup truck.
A red Ford pickup truck.
Well, okay.
King cab, and it's got angels in the back, and they do look like angels. These sweet little girls.
And for those of you who are watching on cable, right behind the Right to Life truck is the Humphreys County Sheriff's Department Traffic Unit. It is our motorcycle cop for Humphreys County.
Nice bike.
Nice bike. I'm not for sure what make it is, but it's a nice bike.
It's too quiet to be a Harley.
And, of course, she is officially escorting the real, true Grand Marshal of the event, the man that this season is all about. She's escorting Santa Claus, who is set up in front of Snoopy's doghouse this year. And has a big mailbox out in front of the Snoopy's doghouse for mail to Santa.
And has the Dare line going along with it.
The Dare line going along with it. And like that. And if you want to mail your letter to Santa, you can take it down to the Waverly Post Office. They have a mailbox there for actually sitting up for sending letters and things to Santa.
And by mail, it's Miracle on 34th Street, they proved that Kris Kringle really was Santa Claus.
Yeah. And this is a nice pair of match set of mules right here, pulling Loretta Lynn's wagon, and then, of course, followed up by all the horses. You can't have a parade in Waverly unless you have horses. And we've got them this year.
They even got a sheriff's horse in there, a couple.
There we go. I like that. All right, tell you what we're going to do here. We're going to talk about our sponsors real quick, again, before we start closing things out. I like at the very end there, you got a little Shetland pony carrying a little one there. Let's hear from some of our other sponsors. We want to thank them for making it possible today.
Village Treasures, Preston Thompson Carpet Shop, Wayway Tire, Magnolia Place, and Apex Bank. Thank you all for sponsoring today's Christmas Parade.
We want to thank very much our sponsors for making this possible today. I like the little Shetland pony. That's kind of cool. So
I like the gray horse, the way they've got its manes fixed with the bows on it.
Very nice. You can always tell people who can ride horses because they don't bounce. And pulling up the rear is, of course, one of the other cars from the Sheriff's Department there, the black SUV. It looks like it's run over the Grinch. The Grinch sticking through the front end grill of the police car and the police unit, and that closes things out.
They ought to drive more careful than that.
They really should. It's open season. It's open season. And like that. We do want to thank all of you for taking a few moments and spending some time for us. And everyone who came out and listened to the parade on their cell phones and like that while they were watching it live, we appreciate that very much as well. Well, Coach, I asked you earlier, are you ready for the holiday season?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Holiday seasons are always special. Also, for some reason, we have a tendency of trying to make them stressful. Let's don't do that this year. Let's work on having a very good and enjoyable holiday season for everyone here in Humphreys County. Very good holiday season, and we will make sure that you keep it safe and enjoy, and make sure that WQMV is a part of your holiday season. We'll be playing a lot of music and stuff like that, get things ready for the big event when Santa decides to visit here in Humphreys County. I like that.
Ho, ho, ho.
Coach, anything else coming up in your way that you need to bring up to anybody's attention while you got a mic for a few moments?
Band concert is going to be the night of the 13th. I think it starts around 6 o'clock.
And that's going to be at the Waverly Central?
At the Waverly Central High School.
Okay. So make plans to attend that. Is there a cost on that, Coach?
I think there is. Now that I'm not actively involved.
Well, definitely put that on your calendar and check that out because they're always a good event, everything like that. And until next time, we'll be joining a little more music this afternoon. In fact, I think that Casey Kasem will be coming up here in a few moments, and we'll be joining him in progress and playing a little Christmas music as we get ready for him. We want to thank everybody this past year that has listened to WQNV, either on AM 1060 or 93.5 FM. You've made this year very good for us. We appreciate that, and we hope that we've helped you in our own ways and kept you informed about what's happening here in the community. Till next time, take care, my friends, and we will see ya.